Think about the last thing that genuinely excited you. Not performed excitement, not the version you described to other people, the real thing, the feeling that made time disappear. Now think about when you last felt that. If you are having trouble remembering, that is not a coincidence. Burnout, depression, that is your brain doing exactly what it was built to do. And it has been doing it to you your entire life. Your brain has a rule. It is the oldest rule in the system. New things matter. Familiar things don't. Like this rule is called habituation, and it is not a flaw. It is the most efficient thing your brain does. Here's why it exists. Your ancestors woke up every morning inside a world that was trying to kill them. Predators, poison plants, strangers from competing tribes. Their survival depended entirely on one ability. A brain that responded equally to everything would be useless. If the rustle of wind in the grass felt as urgent as the rustle of a predator, you would be frozen, overwhelmed, dead within a week. So the brain built a filter. Anything that stays the same gets turned down. Anything new gets turned up. The first time you smell coffee in the morning, the signal is loud. By the third cup, your brain has already filed it under. Known, harmless, not worth tracking. This is not your brain failing you. This is your brain protecting you, freeing up attention for things that actually matter. The problem is what happens when you live inside a world that figured out how to exploit it. In 1954, a neuroscientist named Peter Milner placed an electrode in a rat's brain. He was aiming for one region. He hit another. What happened next changed everything we thought we knew about pleasure. The rat found a lever that sent a small pulse of electricity to that region, and it would not stop pressing it. It ignored food, it ignored water, it ignored every other rat in the enclosure. Just the lever, over and over, up to 7,000 times in a single hour. Milner had not broken the rat. He had found the reward circuit, the part of the brain that releases dopamine and tells you that what just happened was worth doing again. Brain does not release it when you get the reward. It releases it before, in the anticipation. This is why you spend 40 minutes choosing what to watch and feel almost nothing once it starts. The dopamine was in the scroll. The moment you chose, the circuit had already gone quiet. And here is where habituation becomes something darker. Every time your brain anticipates a reward and receives it, the circuit recalibrates, the baseline shifts upward. The same reward that once produced a strong signal now produces a weaker one. The first time you tasted sugar as a child, your brain lit up. The same amount of sugar today barely registers. You have not become broken. Your brain has simply updated its expectations. Scientists call this hedonic adaptation, the technical name for why nothing stays as good as it was the first time. You are not chasing pleasure. You are chasing the memory of pleasure, and the gap between where you are and where the memory lives keeps getting wider. In the 1990s, psychologists tracked people who had won the lottery, life-changing money, the kind that was supposed to fix everything. Within 1 year, they were rating ordinary daily pleasures almost identically to people who had won nothing. The extraordinary had simply become the new ordinary. The part that should concern you is what came next. The lottery winners were not just back to baseline, they were below it. Ordinary pleasures now registered as less satisfying than they had before the win, because the brain does not just adapt, it compares. Every small good thing now sits next to the memory of the best thing, and it loses. You do not need to win the lottery for this to happen. You just need to live inside a world that delivers enough extraordinary things fast enough that the ordinary never gets a chance to feel like enough. Someone built that world on purpose, and you are living inside it right now. The average person now encounters more stimulation in a single day than your great-grandparents encountered in a month. Screens, notifications, algorithmically optimized content, foods engineered for maximum reward, and platforms designed by some of the most sophisticated behavioral scientists alive to keep your dopamine circuit firing just often enough to prevent it from going quiet. Not satisfied, never satisfied, just stimulated enough to stay. The people who built these systems understand habituation better than most neuroscientists. They know that the circuit needs novelty, so they deliver it in an endless, frictionless stream. The next video, the next notification, the next hit, and every time the circuit fires, the baseline rises a little higher. The ordinary pulls a little further away. This is why you can sit in a restaurant in a city you have never visited, eating food you have never tasted, and feel almost nothing. Your baseline has been raised so high by the sheer volume of stimulation in your daily life that genuine novelty barely moves the needle. Your capacity for wonder did not shrink. It was spent. There is a second thing happening underneath all of this, and it is quieter. Habituation does not only affect pleasure, it affects meaning. In 2006, a psychologist gave two groups of people the same painting to take home. One group was asked to write down reasons why they liked it first. The other group just took it home. A few weeks later, the people who analyzed it liked it less. The people who just lived with it still loved it. That is not a coincidence. When you explain something to yourself, your brain marks it as understood, filed, finished. And the moment something is finished, the brain stops attending to it. This is what happens to every song you have ever overplayed, every show you have ever discussed to death, every moment you captured on your phone instead of just standing inside it. The explanation killed the experience, and you were never even told that was a choice. Your craving for more is not greed, it is not weakness, it is a survival system running exactly as designed in a world it was never designed for. Your ancestors needed that system because genuine novelty was rare and meaningful. A new food source, a new territory, a new face. Each one worth attending to fully because each one might save your life or end it. You live in a world that manufactures novelty at industrial scale and delivers it frictionlessly to a brain that cannot tell the difference between a predator in the grass and a notification on a screen. Every system around you is optimized to keep that circuit firing, not to satisfy it. Satisfaction would mean you stop reaching, and you stopping is the one outcome none of those systems were built for. But here is what they could not engineer. Habituation runs in one direction only when the volume stays high. Turn the volume down, and something else happens. Researchers studying people who voluntarily remove stimulation from their lives, no screens for a week, silence, time, and nature without documentation, reported the same pattern. Within days, ordinary things began to register. Again, the taste of food, the quality of light in the morning, the texture of a conversation with no agenda. The brain had not been damaged. It had been overwhelmed. And the moment the noise dropped, the signal returned. The capacity for pleasure did not leave you. It is sitting underneath everything you have been using to replace it. You were never broken. You were just never quiet enough to notice. And right now, reading this, in whatever small moment of stillness this is, you already know that is true. Because for just a second, something in you recognized it. That recognition is the signal. It was there the whole time.